So what is up, guys? Suda the Savage back, and it's a good day when the New Orleans Saints win a playoff game. So on Wild Card Weekend, Super Wild Card Weekend, in fact, the New Orleans Saints pull off a 21-9 victory over the Chicago Bears. Now it was a fun game to watch, but you know if you were just like a casual fan watching this, wasn't that great of a game. But for me, it was good because the Saints won this one. Got a lot to get into, so as always, going to do a general recap, individual player stats, and then the final grade. So without further ado, let's get this video started. Alright, so starting out with a general recap of the game. So starting off, Bears, I think they won the toss, but it didn't because they deferred. Saints, we get the first ball, and to start it off, we go on a long drive down the field. Kind of like a lot of runs, a lot of short passes to guys like Trotman, Michael Thomas. One big thing was I was super happy to get Michael Thomas back. He has been a guy that we've been needing this season. We got some good receivers, guys like Sanders, Little Jordan Humphrey, Deontay Harris, Traquan Smith, but they don't quite live up to Michael Thomas. Eventually, we get to a 4th and 4 at the Chicago 38. I'm thinking maybe kick the field goal, but we decided to punt it because, in the past couple of weeks, Lutz has been missing kicks, so it's a bit of a concern, but, we did what we did. Then Bears, on their very first drive, we force a 3-and-out, so I'm pretty happy, thinking, okay, our defense has got a good start, so let's keep it going. Then the Saints, on our very next drive, we go on a long drive down the field. We get to a 1st and 10 at the Chicago 11, and Drew Brees finally finds Michael Thomas. Thomas finds the end zone for his first touchdown since he broke the record for most receiving receptions in a season against Tennessee. Actually, no, that was the reception after he broke the record. So, yeah. Thomas finally found the end zone. Now he's tied with Dak Prescott, Josh Allen, and Cam Newton for receiving touchdowns in the season. A little sad to think, but it is what it is. The Bears, on their very next drive, they had 2 big plays. The first one was a deep pass to Javon Wims. It was a 28-yarder, and Wims pulls that in. That gets them to the New Orleans 40, and then Trubisky decides to go deep for Wims again, has him in the end zone, and he can just completely burn Janoris Jenkins. Marcus Williams, might have been a little bit of a miscommunication. Williams just couldn't get to him, but Wims dropped it, went right through him. Then the Saints, so of course they get that, there's the incompletion. We get them to a 4th down, it's 4th and 4 on the 34. Now I'm thinking maybe kick the field goal, but the Saints can kind of be like the Chiefs on offense, where we just need that slight spark to get it going. And the Bears, when our offense struggles, you want to pounce on that. So the Bears, they thought they would pounce on it. They go for it on 4th down. Trubisky runs and is short of the 1st down. He had like a 2-yard run. He ran out of bounds. Dude was scared running that one. He didn't even run down. He didn't keep his head down, put his shoulder down, dive forward. He just kind of ran out of bounds, and ultimately it didn't work out. So the Saints, on our very next drive, we go down the field. We get to a 4th and 2 at the Chicago 32, and Lutz missed the 50-yard field goal. So, I wasn't happy with that. But then we, fortunately, on their very next drive, we forced a 3-and-out. Then we get to a 1st and 10 at the New Orleans 27. Taysom Hill is in at quarterback. He's looking around. He tries to pass it. Now, the thing about him, I kept saying this season, is that he spends a lot of time in the pocket because he's always waiting for that deep shot. So Deontay Harris, he was ready to load up to him, but he fumbles the ball, and the Bears recover. But the Saints defense goes to work. They got close, but we forced them to kick the field goal. But that was also a mix between a couple of holding penalties that they got. Actually, no. The big one was an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. I don't know, Cole Kmet, it looked like he threw the ball, threw it at Malcolm Jenkins, but he really just meant to flip it back to the ref. I think that was a bad call, but you know what? I'll take it. The Saints, on our next drive, we punt. Then the Bears, they follow up with a punt of their own. Then we punt. So, yeah, no. At this point, this was just a very sloppy showing from the Saints. But anyways, then the Bears punt, and then we go into halftime. So, yeah, going into halftime, I was a little bit concerned because I'm thinking, okay, we cannot be this flat. We need to strike on the Bears. They can get that one score, but that could ultimately be the killer if we can't do it. So, we force a 5th straight punt. So 5 straight drives where both teams punted. This one they went pretty long. They went to the New Orleans 40, but ultimately came up short. And like I was saying, this Saints team, we just needed something big. Then of course we get to a 3rd and 4th in New Orleans 21. I'm thinking, okay, here comes the 6th straight punt probably. But then Drew Brees passes deep, finds Michael Thomas for a 38-yard gain, and I'm thinking, this is what I've been waiting for. 26-yard pass in the air, 12 on the yards after catch, but I'll take it. It was good enough, and the Saints, we just went on a long drive, forced a neutral zone infraction on a 4th and 3 at the Chicago 13, so we got a lot of chances, and then eventually Drew Brees on a 2nd and goal in the Chicago 6, he's kind of in the pocket, he's kind of scrambling around. Latavius Murray falls. Then Khalil Mack's just running right at Drew Brees, but Murray quickly gets back up. Brees finds Murray. Murray runs it into the end zone for the touchdown. So now we're up 14-3. The Bears, then we force a punt on them, and then the Saints, we get another touchdown. This was just, once again, just like another nice long drive, and it ended with a 3-yard rushing touchdown to Alvin Kamara. We forced a 3-and-out, and then the Saints defense, Saints defense was good this game. Then the Saints, we go on a drive. We get to a 1st and goal at the Chicago 7. We get it to a 2nd and goal at the 2. We can't hit it in on our next 2 tries. We get to a 4th and 1. And then we try, like, the classic fleur-de-lis touchdown. But Drew Brees, he does it. They call it the touchdown. But the thing was, he had jumped. He thought he had it, and he pulled it back just in fear that he wouldn't fumble it. And so the call got reversed. Then the Bears got, like, 1 garbage time touchdown. They finish it off. 2nd and 4 at the New Orleans 19. They get a 19-yard touchdown to Jimmy Graham. Now, I'm thinking maybe are they going to go kick the extra point, but Jimmy Graham, he just took that ball, tossed it to the ref, and ran off the field. He did not feel like sticking around. I wouldn't either, because that was an embarrassing showing by the Bears. But with that, the Saints pull off the victory. On to individual player stats. All right, so on to individual player stats, starting off with Drew Brees. So going into this game, I was a little bit concerned, and from his performance, he did okay. He was good. He didn't light the skies, but he wasn't killing us at the same time. He was decent. He threw for 265 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. So I was happy with his performance, even though he was a little streaky at the beginning. He really got it together at the end and finished strong. Alvin Kamara, we gave him the ball quite a bit. He had 23 carries for 99 yards and a touchdown. We didn't really use Latavius Murray like I thought we would, but I don't know. I feel like when we kind of balance the rush attack more, that's when we're most dangerous, because even though we had 35 carries, 23 of them were to Kamara. So, yeah, that's a big concern. Lead receiver for the day, you might be shocked. You might be thinking Michael Thomas, he came out and just completely kicked ass. The lead receiver of the day was Deontay Harris. It was a lot of, like, passes. It was, like, a lot of kind of like 10-yard passes that he would do. He would do a lot for yards after catch. So, Deontay Harris, he played a very good game, but then Michael Thomas, he was second. 5 receptions for 73 yards and a touchdown. And don't forget, this game was broadcasted on Nickelodeon. So, of course, every time there was a touchdown, you would get slimed. And Thomas got to slime, flex. You can't guard Mike. He did a little bit more of a this instead of this. But you know what? I don't care. Michael Thomas is back, baby. Like, we have only... Like, I saw this one thing. We have only played 60 snaps where Brees, Kamara, and Thomas were on the field. Now, that's not good because, like we need to have them more. So, if the trio's on... You can't stop us. Like, when we're fully healthy, you can't stop the Saints. Jared Cook, he also had a pretty good game. 4 receptions for 40 yards. Then, in terms of other receivers, we had guys like Kamara. He had 17. Mark Burton with 15. Lil Jordan Humphrey had 14 yards. Latavius Murray had 11 in that touchdown. Taysom Hill had 5. Trotman with 4. And then Emmanuel Sanders. He kind of had a down performance, which was kind of disappointing. He only had 2 receptions for 3 yards. So, yeah. Anyways, the only real mistake we had on offense was the fumble by Taysom Hill. But anyways, if I gotta give this offense a grade, I'm gonna give it a 7.5 out of 10. Could have been better, but that consecutive streak with all the punts, the turnover, and a couple of punts in between, like, it could have been better. I think we definitely could have done. We could have had a much bigger victory over the Chicago Bears. But you know what? A win's a win. I'll take it. But anyways, on to the defense. My God, this was a good day for us. We just made Mitch Trubisky's life a living hell. We sacked him. We only sacked him once, but we completely shut down David Montgomery. The receiving game could barely get anything going until that one drive at the end. And Javon Wims, man, maybe you should spend less time fighting Chauncey Gardner-Johnson and maybe spend more time catching. Because ultimately, that cat, if he had caught that ball, that could have maybe been a bit of a momentum changer. You know, maybe the Bears could have made this way closer than it was, but in the end, the Saints pulled out. So the defense, I'm going to give them a 9 out of 10 for today. Could have been higher, but we had one bad drive where they almost got that touchdown. And yeah, I'll factor in garbage time. But other than that, Saints defense was kick-ass. The only points that we allowed outside of the points in garbage time were, of course, when we gave them excellent field position when Taysom Hill fumbled the ball. So clearly, it is what it is. So anyways, on to the Bears. Mitch Trubisky, don't bring him back for next season. If you want to win, you can't have him back. Draft a quarterback, maybe get someone in free agency, maybe trade for Deshaun Watson because right now he wants out of Houston. I would want out too because Houston right now is an absolute hellhole to be in because, of course, James Harden, as I'm filming this, he's gone. He's no longer in Houston. So right now, Houston's kind of like a place where no one wants to be. So, yeah, Trubisky threw for 199 yards, 1 touchdown, no picks. But other than that, he just was not good. He just couldn't get it done. Outside of the one garbage time drive, he had nothing. David Montgomery, even though he had been playing very well in the weeks leading up to the wildcard game, he was just completely neutralized, ran for 31 yards. Lead receiver was Allen Robinson, 6 receptions for 55 yards, followed by Ryan Ridley with 36 yards, Javon Williams with 28, and then Jimmy Graham followed that up, 25 yards and a touchdown. Anthony Miller, he did get into a bit of a scuffle with the Saints, and he did get ejected. It was deserved because he was acting out a little bit, but it was against Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. Dude cannot stop chirping. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson right now could become one of the most hated guys in the NFL. He has that, Jalen Ramsey, Richard Sherman kind of loudmouth. He is cocky. He is not shy of getting into people's heads. Even though, talent-wise, Richard Sherman in his prime and Jalen Ramsey right now are absolutely kick-ass. So, Gardner-Johnson, he's pretty good, but I would definitely be careful with the trash talk because it could leave him quite vulnerable in the end. Look at what happened with Juju Smith-Schuster. Anyways, if I got to give the Bears offense a grade, I'm giving it a 2 out of 10. Yeah, you showed life on that. Of course, you had the garbage time drive, and you showed life on those 2 deep shots against the Saints, but ultimately, that just completely failed. Then the defense, I'm going to give them a 7 out of 10. 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10, you guys are a good defensive team. Don't get me wrong. The defense is good, but I'll be honest, you held the Saints off as much as you could, but in the end, your offense just couldn't do anything to help you out. So overall, great. I'm going to give the Saints an 8 out of 10 for this game. 8 out of 10 is what we deserve. It could be higher, but, a couple mistakes here and there. Bears had a couple of chances where they could have pounced on us. We got lucky on the Javon Wims drop, I will say that, but in the end, I'll give us an 8 out of 10. Bears, I'm going to give them a 4 out of 10. They were frauds. They did not deserve to be in the playoffs, even though their defense did all that they could for most of the game. The offense just completely killed them. So yeah, now we're going up against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We are looking for the season sweep. Even though we did sweep them this season, we're looking for the full sweep, the 3-game sweep. We did that to the Carolina Panthers back in 2017. Hopefully we can do it against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, as this is going to be Brady versus Breeze for quite possibly the last time for the last time. So, this is going to be going on the History Channel. So, yeah, it's going to be a fun game. Bring it on, Bucks. I'm ready for you. On to the outro. And that is going to wrap up my video for today. Thank you guys all so much for watching. If you want to see all my other prediction videos, actually, no, I'll just leave my postseason prediction video in the link in the description below. If you want to see my other Saints recaps, links to all that will be in the description below. Make sure you drop a like to this video if you liked it. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Comment down below what you thought on the Saints game. What did you think of Wildcard Weekend in general? And yeah, that's pretty much it. Make sure to follow me on Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok at Brendan Suter. Thank y'all for watching. Have a great day. Who Dat Nation, going against the Bucks, is out.